This is Mercenary Rising, a story about survival, a story about trust, and the cost of losing both. Sometimes the faces change, the places change, but the outcome never does. I've spent enough time topside to know what people are capable of when they think nobody is watching. Some steal, some lie, some smile while they're doing it. And every raid, every betrayal, everybody left behind makes you ask the same question. What kind of person do you have to become to survive? Because good intentions don't stop bullets, and kindness doesn't stop greed. When a raider goes down topside, the entire world hears about it. Those emergency flares aren't just a cry for help, they're an invitation. An invitation for every scavenger, opportunist, and predator within sight. Some people see a flare and come running to save a life. Others see a flare and see profit. That's the problem. You never know which one you're dealing with. You never know if the footsteps coming toward you belong to a savior or an executioner. And by the time you find out, it's usually too late. Topside is beautiful. Beautiful in a way that doesn't make sense. Mountains painted by the setting sun, ancient machinery towering over the landscape. Arcs so massive they look like moving mountains. A world that feels abandoned by humanity, yet somehow still alive. Sometimes you forget you're standing in one of the deadliest places left on Earth. Then reality reminds you, beneath all that beauty are machines designed to kill. And people willing to do it for free. That's when I spotted him, watching, waiting, not attacking, not speaking, just observing. The kind of behavior that immediately puts me on edge. Maybe he was friendly, maybe he wasn't. The problem is, I couldn't afford to find out, so I disappeared underneath the containers and waited, listening, hearing footsteps above me, wondering whether he was hunting or just passing through. The moment I thought the coast was clear, I realized something worse. I wasn't alone. People underestimate ARC. They see robots and assume they're stupid, predictable, easy to manipulate. They're wrong. Especially the shredders. These things aren't cheap security systems. They're intelligent killing machines, built with sensors capable of tracking movement, sound, and even scent. You don't fool a shredder, you survive one. And then came the comet. All because I cracked open an ARC probe. The second those probes detect interference, they start screaming for help. And the ARC always answers. I ran, around corners, through buildings, out of sight. At least, that's what I thought. Because somehow, that comet still knew exactly where I was. It followed me straight to the house, straight to my hiding spot, sniffing, searching, almost like it could smell fear. For a moment, I was convinced it knew. But I knew that if I took one step outside, this motherfucker wouldn't hesitate to blow me away. The Rocketeer plays a different game. Patience. It waits, watching from cover, peeking corners, checking windows, calculating, looking for the perfect angle, the perfect shot. One mistake, and it turns you into a crater. Even extraction isn't safe, especially extraction. You hide in bushes, behind rocks, inside shadows, waiting for the ride home, watching for Ark, watching for raiders, watching for anything that moves. Because the moment your backpack fills with loot, you become valuable, and valuable things get hunted. Some people take it even further. Traps, pulse mines, ambush points, little surprises waiting for tired raiders who think they're safe. I found one of those surprises. Luckily, whoever placed it wasn't around anymore. Otherwise, we'd be telling a very different story. Then, I met another raider.
Hey, what's going on?
The kind that makes you question yourself at first. He felt
I'm not sure if
wrong.
you need to do the weapons case trial. There's a weapons case over here.
Like he wanted me looking one direction while he shot me from another. Every instinct told me to be careful. Every instinct told me not to trust him.
I've seen these.
Then I thought, his voice. There was an innocence to it, a sincerity, the kind that's hard to fake. We fought Ark together, cleared the area, went our separate ways, or at least that's what I thought, because later there he was again, waiting near extraction,
Alright guys,
standing exactly where someone looking for an easy victim would stand. Maybe he was waiting for the elevator, maybe he wasn't. The strange part, he never pressed the button, and later, during another raid, I heard the same voice again, exactly the same, but it wasn't his real voice. It was a voice changer. Maybe he was hiding his identity. Maybe he was hiding his intentions. Maybe both.
I'm in.
Out here, you watch the Ark, you watch the shadows, you watch the extraction points, but most importantly, you watch people, because the things that look beautiful often hide teeth. The deal was done. The weapons were secured, the supplies were loaded. Now came the dangerous part, getting home. I looked into the distance, 650 meters. Fuck. 650 meters between us and salvation. Let's rock. The rain hammered the ground, the wind howled through the ruins, and somehow it felt too quiet. The kind of quiet that makes your instincts scream. When you're topside, silence usually means somebody is watching. The shadows, the rooftops, every patch of brush, potential death. Scanning, looking for movement, looking for Ark, looking for the kind of raider that doesn't work for his loot, the kind that takes yours. The worst part wasn't the raiders, it's their technology. It was the black market tech, the trackers, the scanners, the parasites who could see your value before they saw your face. People carrying devices capable of telling them exactly what was in my backpack, how much it was worth, whether I was worth hunting. And tonight, I was. Off to my left, another zip line, another dealer route, another team trying to make it home. I hope they made it. Out here, not everybody gets a second chance. Then, movement. A shadow in the storm. My guide dropped. No warning, no conversation. 1 second he was alive, the next he was gone. I froze. I took one last breath. I launched. The shots came fast, violent, precise. Then, darkness. again. The same route, the same dealer, the same storm. It felt like I had already lived this nightmare. Maybe I had. Tonight was different. Snappy was with me, and this time he brought a shooter. Good. Because if anybody got any ideas, our friend here could explain why that was a bad one. My head was still heavy, my vision still blurry, but adrenaline has a way of fixing that. The injector hit and reality came rushing back. Alright, let's get home. What the Right. The people who killed our guide, those were the ones I was talking about. The kind carrying black market tech. The kind who could see us through walls. The kind who could already be tracking us. Maybe they were behind us. Maybe they were in front of us. Maybe they were already planning where to ambush us next. Every step felt heavier. Every second shorter. Every mistake more expensive. Then I caught myself. No, not today. Not another loss. Not another funeral. Not another trip home empty-handed. Let's go get this money. And let's get home alive. But one thought still lingered. The men who killed our guide. What if they followed us up that zip line? My lungs burned. Every muscle screamed. Oh, fuck. Another one dead. Keep moving. I'm a champion. I don't break. I don't stop. I don't lose. Not today. Not this run. Not this family. I came too far. I'm still standing. They can't catch me. They won't catch me. Fuck, snap, move. Get the fuck out the way. You supposed to let me go first, motherfucker. Damn. I wasn't here to loot. Not yet. Today was reconnaissance. A dry run. A chance to study the Crane House before coming back under the cover of darkness. I wanted to know everything. The entrances, the exits, the escape routes. Which elevator I would trust with my life when it came time to leave. Because getting into a loot room is easy. Getting out alive, that's the hard part. But there was another reason I came. I wanted to check the temper at Riven Tides. See how active the Ark were. See what kind of people were moving through the area. Friendly people, desperate people, dangerous people. Because some days you can feel it in the air. Some days the whole map feels wrong. I stopped, listened, checked my surroundings. Nothing. For a moment. Then a few seconds later, I heard it. Gunfire, combat, Crane House number 3. Somebody was fighting a shredder. I kept moving because I already knew there was a shredder in my own building. And unlike some raiders, I don't gamble with shredders. They're fast, aggressive, unforgiving. One mistake and your entire loadout belongs to somebody else. So I took the safe route. A couple secret grenades, quick execution, and just like that, my Crane House was clear. Before moving inside, I checked the area. That's when I noticed something strange. The raider in Crane House 3 was still fighting, still struggling. He was still alive. The traitor should have been dead by now. I leaned out, sent a few rounds in his direction to help. Sometimes surviving topside means helping complete strangers. At least, sometimes. After that, I left him to his business. I had my own work to do. Arc parts, entry points, escape routes, every detail mattered. I checked one door, then the other. Walked the zipline route. Started mentally building the operation. Door blockers, radar alarms, mines, barricades, everything I'd need for the night raid. Then I heard something. The fight was over, but not because somebody won. Somebody went down. His name was Diego. I didn't know him, never met him, but I heard the flare. And when a flare goes up, every raider nearby has a decision to make. Help or hunt. I called out to him. Told Diego I didn't have a defibrillator, but if he stayed alive long enough, I'd come bandage him once the arc moved on. The problem was, there were arc everywhere. Then, I saw another raider, running towards Diego's position, drawn by the flare. And suddenly one question entered my mind. Was he there to help, or was he there to finish the job? I stayed where I was and just watched. Fire erupted, then chaos, arc screaming, gunfire, movement, more movement, then silence. The kind of silence that makes your hair stand up on your neck. When the noise finally stopped, I only saw one raider moving around in the building. Just one. A few moments later, he came out alone. Just him. No second set of footsteps, no sign that anybody else survived. Maybe Diego was still inside. Maybe he was looting. Maybe. But something about the whole situation felt wrong. The raider looked in my direction, and for a moment I thought he saw me. So I waited. Watched every entrance, every window, every angle. Because I don't know what happened over there. And I didn't know his intentions. But I knew one thing. If he walked into my crane house, I would blow his motherfucking wig back. My objective was finishing. The scouting run was complete, but curiosity has gotten a lot of raiders killed. And apparently, I hadn't learned that lesson yet. Because now I wanted answers. I wanted to know what happened to Diego, which meant crossing hostile territory. Arc patrols, blind corners, open ground, and possibly a murderer. The entire way there, one thought stayed in my head. If that raider was watching me, and I went down, he'd be there before my body hit the floor. Then I found him. Diego, face down, motionless, dead. The answer was waiting for me exactly where I feared it would be. I checked his belongings, not because he needed them anymore, because he didn't. Somebody else had already made sure of that, and standing there looking at what was left behind, I started putting the pieces together. The flare, the second raider, the fire, the commotion, the silence. Maybe I didn't see a murder happen. Maybe I did, but standing over Diego's body, I knew one thing. Somebody came to that flare, and somebody left richer. I took one final look around, then made my decision. I'd be back tonight. The expensive loot only comes out after dark, and whatever happened to Diego wasn't going to stop me from making my run. Not tonight.
Have your eyes adjusted to the dark yet, Raider? Loot is ripe for the picking.
Let's go to the stacking yard.
Night changes everything. The shadows get longer, the loot gets better, and the predators become harder to see. The reason I came back at night should be obvious. Money. The expensive loot doesn't stay on the shelves during the day. If you want the good stuff, you come after dark. And if you're smart, you get there first. Because the moment somebody realizes the Crane House has been opened, they come swarming, like vultures, hungry, desperate, looking for somebody else's hard work. As I moved through the darkness, I spotted the elevator I'd be using to get home. Close. Close is good. Close means options. Close means survival. And standing there, I couldn't help but think about Diego. Earlier that day, he lost his life here. Same area, same buildings, same darkness. The difference between me and Diego? That was a question I wasn't interested in answering tonight. I kept moving, destroying art, checking corners, watching windows, watching rooftops, watching shadows. Then, finally, I reached the Crane House, and I know he's in there, the shredder, patrolling, waiting. Most people would have killed him immediately. I didn't, because the shredder outside my objective isn't just a threat, it's security. If another raider comes this way, that machine is going to make his life difficult. Maybe it'll slow him down, maybe it'll kill him. Either way, it works for me. So I slipped inside and got to work. The first thing I do is always the same: security. Loot comes second. Survival comes first. Raider alarms, door blockers, barricades, mines. Everything goes down before I touch a single container. Because if somebody pushes this room, I want to know about it early. The mines aren't there to kill people, not necessarily. They're there to buy me time, to create confusion, to slow down an attacker long enough for me to make a decision. Fight, escape, or send them home in a body bag. Toward the end of my setup, another raider appeared, a Scorpio. Like me, friendly, respectful, easy to talk to, the kind of person you'd want to trust. The thing about Scorpios, we'll give you the shirt off our back. We'll help you when nobody else will. We'll be kind when kindness doesn't make sense. But if you cross us, if you push too far, that kindness disappears. And what's left behind is dangerous. So while I appreciated his company, I kept one eye open.
That's all right, bro. Hey.
Once the defenses were in place, I finished setting up the room. Every player develops their own style. Different traps, different equipment, different priorities. You don't have to use my exact setup. Find what works for you. Adapt, experiment, improve. But there is one thing I recommend every single time: Raider alarms. Information wins fights. The earlier you know somebody is coming, the longer you have to prepare. And preparation is everything. The rest of the equipment, disposable. All the barricades, blockers, alarms, and mines. All of it stays behind. Because the goal isn't bringing your tools home. The goal is bringing your loot home. Once everything was set, the real work began. Looting. And while my hands were busy, my ears never stopped working. Because sound keeps you alive. Every bird, every footstep, every voice, every metallic clang, every shadow moving across a doorway means something. The biggest mistake new raiders make? Tunnel vision. They bury their head inside a container and forget where they are. You can't do that. Not here. Not in a place this valuable. I never stay in one container too long, and every strange sound gets investigated immediately. Because the one sound you ignore is usually the one that kills you. As the loot piled up, something started bothering me. Little things. Small sounds, movement, disturbances. Nothing concrete, nothing obvious. Just enough to create a feeling. The kind of feeling you get right before something bad happens, again and again. I stopped looting, checking the doors, checked the windows, checked the shadows, because my instincts were screaming at me. Something else was coming. I didn't know what. But I knew I needed to listen, really listen, because the next few minutes might decide whether I leave rich or leave dead. The biggest mistake people make in a loot room is trying to take everything. You don't. You prioritize high value electronics, military equipment, rare crafting materials, anything that keeps your bag light and your profits high. The cheap stuff, leave it behind. A greedy raider spends too much time sorting through junk. A smart raider is already thinking about extraction, because every extra second you spend buried inside a container is another second somebody has to find you. So I keep it moving. One container, a quick listen. Another container, another listen. Never letting the room distract me from what's happening outside. Then I heard him. Movement. Up the zip line. Somebody was coming up to the Crane House, and judging by the sound of it, he wasn't just passing through. But watching him disappear, I couldn't help thinking about the other day. The flare, the betrayal, the men who found Phrase. I don't trust people topside. Not anymore. Not after what happened. Everywhere, bro. I can't come right now. They see you? What are they saying? What's going on? They're picking you up. Man, you need to watch them. They're cool. I don't know. They came because of those flares. You need to watch them, bro. Man, I'm not feeling it, bro. And I got Ark still chasing me heavy.
Are y'all good?
Yeah, I'm good, dude. I'm just trying to fight off these Ark.
Yeah.
You guys can come to the hatch with us if you want.
Wait, where the fuck your team are going? Just disappear, man?
Yo, Phrase, where you at, bro? Let's go. Fuck.
Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Yo.
We went into that raid for resources. Plastic, rubber, metal, arc parts. Simple objectives. Praise wanted a bombardier. I wanted materials. Neither of us expected what happened next. Praise believes in people. He always has. He sees the best in strangers, the best in situations, the best in human nature. Me, not so much. And lately, less and less. The moment those flares went up, I wanted to relocate immediately. One flare is bad enough. Three is an invitation, a beacon, a dinner bell. Some people come because they're good people. Some people come because they're predators. And the problem is, you don't know which one you're dealing with until it's too late. Lately, I've been hearing things. Thoughts, questions, ideas I never used to have. You just make it bad. You think he's soft. You just kill him. Kill him. Don't let him get away with that. They think you're weak. Make him pay. He doesn't respect you. Just show him who running shit. Questions about survival. Questions about money. Questions about what kind of man I need to become. Because my family is back in Speranza, and they depend on me. I can't keep getting robbed. I can't keep getting betrayed. Can't keep ending up on the wrong side of somebody else's ambition. Maybe it's time to change. Maybe it's time to adapt. Maybe it's time to stop being the victim. I don't know. But I'm thinking about it more and more every fucking day. The room was empty. The loot was secured. The operation is almost a success. Now comes the most dangerous part, leaving. I tore down the barricades, pulled the blockers, and I left behind all the equipment that had done its job. Tools are replaceable, and loot isn't. Before stepping outside, I throw a tracker grenade into the dark area. One last check, one last precaution. Because if somebody is sitting outside my room, waiting, watching, hoping I'll walk into an ambush, they're not a raider anymore. They're loot. And loot belongs in the backpack. No movement, no hidden silhouettes or waiting execution squad. Good. That meant I could move. I deployed my zip line and started preparing my exit. Every second spent still was another second somebody could discover where I was. And in Riven Tides, standing still gets you killed. Plans change, and surviving means changing with them. The area I wanted to use was crawling, arc everywhere. Other raiders nearby, too many barriers. Too many opportunities for something to go wrong. So I abandoned the plan. Sometimes the smartest move isn't forcing your way through. Sometimes it's adapting. I can hear my alarm going off. Another raider had entered the Crane House. Good luck, because I was already gone. I do know one thing though, it's time to get the fuck out of here. If he hits any of those traps I laid, he may get pissed off and come for me. And then I heard it. The unmistakable sound of a rocketeer. If that fat bitch sees me, it'll have me. Locked, targeted, missiles flying. A machine like that can erase 20 minutes of work in a heartbeat. Everything I'd earned, everything I'd fought for, gone. I'm still worried about that other raider. I don't see anybody behind me yet, so I guess I'm good for the moment. Fuck it. Okay. Here we go with this fucking rocketeer. I wasn't interested in becoming another crater, so I activated my photoelectric cloak. Vanished. Then disappeared into the nearest bush. The rocketeer searched, scanned, waited, but eventually it moved on. The second it leaves, I'll run. The elevator was closing soon. 2 minutes. That's all I'd had left. Missed that elevator, and suddenly you're looking for another exit. Hundreds of meters away, through the Ark, through the Raiders, through hell. No thanks. When I finally reached the extraction, I didn't rush. I checked everything. Corners, bushes, trap locations, sightlines. People love setting traps near extraction because desperate people make mistakes. Then I pressed the button and waited. Funny thing about elevators, they always feel like they take an hour when somebody might be trying to kill you. $125,000 worth of loot. Not bad. Not great, but not bad. A decent payday. The kind that keeps the lights on, keeps supplies stocked, keeps food on the table. But lately, decent hasn't felt like enough. Not with the people I've met. Not with the things I've seen. Life in Speranza keeps getting harder. The world outside keeps getting uglier. And every day, the idea keeps coming back. The same thought, the same temptation. Maybe it's time. Maybe if things get any worse, I'll have to cross over. Maybe the dark side isn't as far away as I thought. What the fuck? The room was secure, locked down, protected, or at least it should have been. The alarms were screaming, the barricades had been breached, and somehow he was still coming, ignoring everything, ignoring every warning, ignoring every signal, ignoring every opportunity to leave. Yo! I'm in here! Yo! Bro, you took down 2 barricades through a screaming alarm. I'll let you know when I'm done. You can come get what you want when I leave. Get out! And still, he kept going. Still acting like my patience was unlimited. That's the thing about people. They don't see the 100 times you're reasonable. They don't remember the 100 times you're polite. They only remember the one time you stopped tolerating the bullshit. Then the memories started coming back. Betrayal, the robberies, flares, bodies, praise, the God, the people who smiled before they pulled triggers. Every incident, every loss, every fucking breath, get out! The line had been crossed.
Where's the rat?
He tried to rat. Yeah, try. I'm tired. Tired of getting robbed. Tired of watching people mistake kindness for weakness. This world isn't fair. It isn't friendly. It's a dog-eat-dog world. And I'm starving. The kind of hunger that changes a man. I spent too long being prey. Too long hoping people would do the right thing. They're not anymore. It's time. Time to stop being hunted. Time to become exactly what this world created, a mercenary. And if anybody wants what's mine, they better be ready to die for it.